So you're a consultant with Champion Thoroughbreds. Can you tell us a bit about what you do and what your business is?
Yes, I work in the United States with Solis Lit Bloodstock. Alex Solis is in California, I'm in Kentucky, and we travel the world trying to find good horses.
And what have you got in your current portfolio at the moment?
So right now we have actually the highest rated horse in the world, a horse named Shared Belief, who's a very nice 4-year-old gelding. We have a very good 3-year-old colt named Competitive Edge, who's going to be running on Belmont Day in the US. So we've got quite a few and they're running well.
And you selected them all as yearlings, or?
Yeah, we selected actually one that's 2-year-old and one that was a tried horse, but we have had some good success buying yearlings. We bought a filly named Misdirection who won the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint twice. So it's been good.
Been lucky. Now you've been to sales all over the world, and now you've just started coming to Australia. How does this stock over in Australasia compare with what you've seen across the world?
Well, the last few years I've been coming to the Easter sale, and without question the top stock here is really on par with the rest of the world. So it's becoming a very readily apparent thing that Australian horses are world class.
And do you think there is a universal type of horse that suits everywhere, or is there a certain type of horse that just suits Australia and then a different type for Europe, or how do you feel about that?
Well, I think depending on the distance of the races, a lot dictates the type of horse, but certainly for sprinting types, you could travel the world and the top class ones look very similar. As you get a little bit further along and in the distance realm, you tend to get horses that kind of have a typical look for a particular country, but definitely the fast horses do have a very consistent look.
Okay, so shall we head down to the stable and pull out a couple of horses and you can show us what you look for?
Sounds great, let's go. Hi, we're at Joe Pride's yard right now, and what we're going to do is look at 3 horses in the yard, all different ages, and kind of go over what we're generally looking at when we're initially trying to buy a horse and then when they develop. So right now we have a Jimmy Choo gelding out of my parlay. It's a yearling. So when you're looking at a yearling, really the first things that I tend to gravitate towards is balance. And if you have a horse with nice balance, then usually that means they're a nice mover. And when you're buying a yearling, you're not able to watch them run, you're just watching them walk. So a good balanced horse is usually a good moving horse, and then that translates to a good moving horse in the track. So the things we look for when we're looking for a well-balanced horse are symmetry. So you can see in this particular colt that he has a lovely long neck that fits with his lovely long body. And when he's standing, his leg really kind of comes straight up through the shoulder. So if you were to drop a plumb line from right here at the point of the shoulder, you go straight down and he has a lovely conformation. So with a long neck, often it comes with a nice laid back shoulder. So his shoulder's way back here, it'd enable him to have a long, easy flowing stride. So initially, after you look at the balance, the things you're looking for is you have a nice, intelligent head, and he does. He's got a very kind eye, nice ears, big nostrils, because at the end of the day, you're wanting a horse that is smart and also is physically capable of doing what you're gonna ask them to do. So from the shoulder, you look at the length of his back. It's kind of a short back for the length underneath, which is really a positive thing. Again, it helps with stride length, that you have some length underneath them. So a short back is good. It takes a lot of pressure off their back. The longer they are, it tends to jar them up a bit. And then of course, the motor is in the back. He has a huge hip, a very strong gaskin, really nice hind leg conformation. So the next thing I do after I looked at the horse would be to take it for a walk and see how it moves when it's walking. As you can see, he is a very smooth, easy, fluid walker. And as we talked in the conformation before, that laid back shoulder and the neck set really does enable a horse like this to have a very fluid walk. If you were to watch the horse from behind, you actually wouldn't even see his head. You just see it bobbing up and down. And again, that's often dictated by how he conformationally is set up. So the length underneath enables him to have that good overstride, and the fact that he's got a really nice, kind demeanor, good fluid walk, you'd be pretty excited and hopeful about his potential as a racehorse. Okay, so right here we have the 2-year-old filly by Hinchinbrook named Hinchin a Ride, and you can see she's in the more developed phase. She has a lovely big shoulder, very strong hip. She also has a laid back shoulder, which will enable her, when she starts walking, to do the same, where she drops her head and really strides out. So when you can see, as she's walking, her head is dropping. If you were looking from behind, you just see her head bobbing up and down, and she uses herself really well. She has a beautiful, nice hip, a very good gluteal muscle, same good length from stifle to the hock, and lovely balance. And really, at the end of the day, that's what we're looking for, is a very smooth, easy action, and we believe, of course, that translates to a good mover on the track. Well, you can really notice on her, she has a big bright eye, which is also a sign of intelligence and the hope that they have the desire to race. But at the end of the day, this is a very lovely filly, and we certainly are hoping for big things from her. Right here is the 5-year-old gelding by Nadim named Target in Sight. And he is a very talented horse, a very fast horse, and there are parts about his conformation that would give you that indication that he would be a sprinting type. So one thing that's consistent with all the champion horses is they have a beautiful head, they've got a great long neck, they have that nice laid back shoulder that we talk of, very good front end conformation, and some length. You'll notice on him, he has kind of a steep hip from the point of the top of his hip down to the end where his tail is, and oftentimes that's a good indication that they will be a sprinting type. It gives them a lot of power behind, and it gets them off the mark pretty quickly, and then also just gives them a lot of speed to stay in those sprint races. So you wouldn't look at him and think route horse, and I think that's a lot of the reason is the conformation. You can see he's got a great temperament, beautiful balance, a very nice big nostril, big ears, and as you'll see in a second, he's a beautiful walking horse as well.